And let me go through the members and see who's here. Corinne's here, Eric Berger, Freddie's not here. Maurice Falls, no. Jim Gavelia, no. Tom Gilmore, no. Colonel Answers is here, yes.
Yes.
And Bruce Yampolsky is here, yes. And
That was just.
here. And Jeff. Okay. All right, let's go through the minutes then. So, first thing on the agenda is roll call. That's on Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead us in the pledge? Bruce, would you like to lead us?
Yes, I'd be honored.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first thing we have on the agenda is the approval of the January 17th, 2019 meeting minutes, but I don't think we can do that. We don't have a quorum, I don't think. Correct. So let's just move on to Rich Bradley. Rich Bradley wanted me to add something onto the agenda, so.
Yes, just a quick announcement for everybody's knowledge. So Jim Sonderman was your chairman of the commission for many, many years, did a great job. Jim has resigned as chairman of the commission, and Mayor Cruzen has appointed Linnea as our new chairman, so she's been duly sworn in for that. Also, Steve Zeiger was a member of the commission, and he has not been with us in town here for a while. So the mayor also appointed Alderman Jeffrey Boyd in his place, and I believe he's been sworn in as well.
As far as I know, yeah.
So congratulations to our new commissioners. Thank you.
Okay. And we have Deputy Director Valerie Russell here from the Department of Human Services for the City of St. Louis, and she is going to talk to us about veteran events that are coming up.
Thank you, and I appreciate the commissioners allowing me to speak. I don't know if the announcement was made prior to his leaving, but Robert Basilius, former commissioner, has resigned from his service with the city. He retired and has moved to New Mexico.
No wonder when I try to call him, I can't get him.
He's gone. If you need an email address for him, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to share that. I'm sure he would love to hear from everyone. I just wanted to share with you some of the events that are coming up between next week and November 11th that pertain to veterans. And I brought flyers for the events. The first, and I'll pass these around. This is an event that is being held to provide some intensive rapid rehousing services for homeless veterans. These services include housing, emergency shelter. They'll be matched with landlords. There will be landlords present. They're going to have other types of information and eligibility determinations made for various services and benefits. This is not an open event, so it's not being publicized. It is basically individuals who have been pre-identified and put on a high priority list because of the number of years that they've been chronically homeless. So this event takes place next week at the city's 1520 Market Street location on the first floor. You are welcome to stop by if you want to see the variety of providers that are going to be there and how they handle such an event. The next event coming up happens on October 4th, and I'll pass this around. So for the last 18 years, there has been a joint venture to put on what's called a stand down. This year, the stand down is a little bit different in that it's not going to include all of the service providers that are out there who would wish to work with veterans. This is strictly a stand down to deal with legal issues that veterans still have not resolved. Primarily, it would be the city municipal courts who will be present to hear cases. There will be approximately 11 lawyers who will take cases and represent those veterans in court. It will be here at Soldiers Memorial. We will be occupying this entire floor and the loggia on the first level. In addition, there will be some service providers here who can work with veterans who may have mental health or substance abuse needs. There will be other providers to deal with registration if they have not been determined eligible yet for VA benefits. And so those will be here. We will have food and beverages. This is a regional event in that while the St. Louis County courts are not participating to review cases, they will have individuals here present for their alternative court situation. But the city courts and the prosecutor's office will be very visible. And we, in addition, have, I believe it's the federal attorney's office who is going to be doing wills and trusts and other estate issues for veterans. So that is on the 4th of October from 10 to 1. And again, if you are in the area and you want to see what's going on, we welcome you to attend. The next event is something that I received from the Missouri Veterans Commission, and they have asked that we pass this out. If there are any individuals who may want to participate, or if the commission is aware of Korean War veterans and families, they would like this flyer shared with as many people as possible, or posted where you think veterans may see. But they're going to do a commemoration ceremony for those individuals who served on active duty in the armed forces from June 25th, 1950 to July 27th, 1953. And that will take place in Warrensburg, Missouri, on Monday, November the 11th. So I encourage you, again, to post this and send it out to whomever may be interested. And if you have any questions about the 2 events that are coming up next week and then the one in October, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Yes?
I just have a question about the legal stand down. How many active duty veterans do you get at that, or are they mostly are homeless?
So let me talk historically.
Okay.
In the past, the stand downs have primarily focused upon homeless individuals. This particular event, there was a desire to make sure that individuals who were on active duty, who might be in town, or individuals based within this region, to have access to the legal services. The marketing for this event has been difficult to determine how broad a reach we have at this point in time, but we've not had active duty veterans in the past participate in the legal stand down or in any of the stand downs. We'll get individuals and their families who may be at risk but not homeless. So this is the first time for us to kind of gauge our ability to communicate to individuals who are still active duty and to see if they have an opportunity.
It may take a few times before they get the message.
Exactly.
But that's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is Soldiers Memorial Operations, Exhibits, and Programming. Mark Sunlove.
Right.
Talking about it for us.
Yeah. So I'm not going all the way back to our last meeting, but I'll cover some highlights. As far as facility changes go, the acoustic paneling installation will begin within 2 to 3 weeks, and that'll be in this room, in the Taylor Assembly Hall, and in room 206 and 207. So hopefully that means we see a dramatic improvement in acoustics in all of the meeting rooms. That'll be good. As far as exhibits go, the Admiral Morale marble plaque and the Seabees painting has been hung in the Butch O'Hare room. It's right now in 206 at the end of the hall, so if you'd like to see that. That room, while sometimes seemingly vacant or out of the way. It's actually our number one programming space where we hold all of our special events. So when the Navy was here for an 8 week, a couple weeks ago, that's where the Admiral presented. And so it's actually a fairly good spot for it in the facility. So that is up. There was a plaque installed in the Court of Honor. It's on the south side of the north-south running wall. Am I getting this right? It's on the west side of the north-south running wall on the east side of the Hills Arnold statue memorial.
Draw us a picture.
How about which side
It
of
is
the
right
street?
there.
Oh, hey.
It is right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very confusing. So that went up. The banner exhibits are about to go up. Out at Mac West will be we're going to install the Soldiers Memorial Overview, which is at City Hall right now. And then in City Hall, or not City Hall, I'm sorry, 1520. And then in City Hall, they will receive the World War I exhibit. And then at Mac Downtown will be a new one, which is the first and foremost St. Louis military leaders. And these are individuals who are in the exhibits who have been the first of something. So Butch O'Hare, the first Naval Medal of Honor during World War II, the first Naval Ace during World War II, Brigadier General Jeannie Leavitt, the first female Air Force fighter pilot, Bobby Wilkes, the first African-American Coast Guard aviator. So all these kind of cool firsts that are St. Louis related. So those will be going up in October, which is very soon. On to programming, we're having a number of programs. Last night we had a Giving Circle event. These are for individuals who have kind of gone above and beyond the standard membership and have given additional support to Soldiers Memorial specifically. Judith was there last night. I thought that was a fun event. We looked at military food throughout the ages, and it was pretty great. Tonight, and delicious. That's right. Tonight is Night at the Bruseum. This has been a program that's been in St. Louis for a few years. They kind of move spots, and tonight they will be here at Soldiers Memorial. The event starts at 6 with kind of networking and talking and some hors d'oeuvres, and then at 6:30 there will be a panel of architects and historians talking about what the renovation of Soldiers Memorial means for urban renewal and civic pride, and it's just this kind of great opportunity to talk about not only Soldiers Memorial, but downtown St. Louis as well. So that's happening tonight.
That's kind of a young professional
Right.
audience.
Right, yeah. So that is the target audience for that. It's kind of the younger professionals. And just last week we had a group here, another evening event called Vet Working, and these also are young veterans who are trying to get a foothold in the civilian career fields. So they were here. There was about 60 to 80 of them that came and kind of networked and had some presentations and things like that. So there's a lot of events happening. Upcoming events tomorrow. Recently, 2 to 3 weeks ago, the Jefferson Barracks POW MIA Museum contacted us. Missouri is being recognized as the first POW MIA state, and what that means is it's basically the state's official proclamation that they support POW MIA issues and resolving those issues. And then I think along with that, the formal action that takes place is any state properties that are displaying the U.S. flag will also display the POW MIA flag in conjunction. So Jay Ashcroft will be here, Secretary of State, tomorrow to present that. That begins at 1 p.m. It should be probably short. It will be over at 2, basically the proclamation and some speeches. We started a monthly, what we're calling Chow and Chat, instead of a lunch and learn, which we found out is trademarked. I don't use that, which we were surprised. but I guess years ago, the Missouri Historical Society actually received a cease and desist letter because they were using the phrase lunch and learn, but somebody has apparently trademarked that term. So Molly came up with chow and chat, which I thought worked pretty well for military stuff. These are happening every Wednesday, or I'm sorry, every first Wednesday of every month. We had our first one in September. The next one is October 2nd, and they run from 12, basically from 12 to 1. We give a little people, we start late, we give people time to get here if they want to come over from City Hall or from SLU or wherever they might come. So we're excited about that. This is like Judith said, I think earlier, it's going to be kind of a slow burner to get an audience built and get people coming on a recurring basis, but we're excited for that.
What's the topic?
In October, it's African Americans in the American Revolution. This month in September, we presented on Soldiers Memorial as a memorial, so looking not at the exhibits and that type of content, but at the building and the memorial aspects itself. So that was great. And then in following month in November is Shay, I believe.
No, it's me.
It's Molly talking about.
My research on individual soldiers, so I'll kind of do a little overview, pick a highlight soldier from each war, and then at the end I'm going to give some resources and help for anybody who might be wanting to do their own research on a family member who was a soldier.
And these are individuals that are memorialized either in the Court of Honor or in the cenotaph. So if you don't know, Molly did extensive research on everybody who is memorialized in the Court of Honor and on the cenotaph. So she has kind of this in-depth knowledge of most everybody.
Yeah, roughly
So some of that stuff,
4,000.
yeah.
Is there somewhere that an announcement goes out about these things that this group could be on? Because I find sometimes I don't know about half the things.
So the best source is the Soldiers Memorial e-newsletter, which goes
I
up.
did see the challenge hit on the newsletter.
Yeah, and that's an electronic newsletter that you receive, or you should be receiving. If not, we'll make sure that
I don't think
you're
I
signed
am.
up for it. You have to opt in, you have to.
Yeah, you have to for
Like through your membership?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll send the link around to the full commission, and I have another thing I need to send out as well. I'll get to that later, but I'll send that out after this meeting, and then you can sign up and you'll get a regular email that says everything that's happening.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I have a question. Do you bring your own lunch? I mean, do you bring
You
your
do,
bag?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a brown
Okay.
bag type.
Okay, great.
And then another upcoming one in the near future, on October 13th, this is a Sunday at 2 p.m., is Patriots from the Barrio. This is exploring the riveting World War II story of Company E of the 141st Infantry. It was the only all-Mexican-American unit in World War II. So there's a book, it's in the small book gift shop on the first level. That author will be coming to talk about that book and that story.
So excited afterwards.
Yes. So those are some of the kind of the immediate upcoming events. There's a lot more that are continually popping up. I'll move on to Veterans Day observance. Had a great conversation with Judith yesterday. A lot of the big pieces are in place for the Veterans Day ceremony, which will be Saturday, November 9th at 10:30 a.m., just prior to the parade. But the keynote speaker and parade marshal will be Rocky Sickman. You know, Rocky, who's, I think everybody here is familiar with Rocky. And then Kathy Lawton Brown will be here to sing the national anthem and God Bless America. And then Judith just got a confirmation from Chief Williams to do the invocation. So there are all these kind of big pieces are coming into play. Of course, there's a ton of additional logistics that we need to worry about, but it's nice to have the big pieces there.
So how's it going without Ann being around?
I'm sorry?
How's it going with Ann not being around?
So Kathy was originally going to come yesterday, but did not. So I need to check in with her and see where she's at. So Ann is, I don't know City Hall too well, but Ann she replied to my email, so she's still involved over there.
So let me tell you how that goes.
Okay.
So Special Events Office now reports to me.
Mhm.
And so as of this morning, we're now advertising for a new Special Events Director. It's on the website. We'll be out there for about 3 to 4 weeks. Ann has committed to me to work her performance as long as I need her, before, during, and after a new person gets there. So
Oh, wow,
we
that's
still have Ann,
nice.
so no
Oh,
worries.
that's
Very good.
nice. Because
Yeah.
last,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Ann's good.
yeah, I was
So
wondering.
the downside to all this is Kathy, her assistant, is gonna retire April 1st of next year.
Oh,
So
my.
the challenge is to get somebody in and up and running so that we can keep this momentum going. We'll do
There's
it.
so much that
Oh,
office
yeah.
does.
Whew.
You know.
This is just one of them.
Let's see. No, I'm sorry, Lenny, I rolled right into.
That's quite okay, that's quite okay.
And if you're ready, I'll go into the acquisitions committee.
Sounds
All
perfect.
right. So the last 2 meetings, we accessioned materials from U.S. Naval Chief James Sisson. These are materials that came from Camp David during his time there. And then also medals and a wall rubbing M.J. Savoy, who was killed in action in 1966 in Vietnam. And those are donated by Alan Spector. And just on Monday, I thought that this was particularly exciting. I guess everybody has their own appeals, but this one I thought was pretty great. We accessioned a diary and 13 signal flags that came from the USS St. Louis CL-49, which was the Lucky Lou. So they were donated by Joffrey Luray from Bexley, Ohio. And these artifacts belong to his father, Lee Quinton. Laura, Mike, I don't know if you want to say anything else about those donations.
Yeah, they're all really great pieces. The signal flags and the diary are from the son of the gentleman who served aboard the USS St. Louis during World War II. And his diary details out the actions of the ship and life aboard the ship. And my favorite part of the diary is he often reported the movies that were being shown on board and his movie review on how good they were. So something can build something kind of fun into some of the programming. I don't know if we'll quite have a USS St. Louis Film Festival or not, but some fun things to do there. And the signal flags are really wonderful. It's not a full set, but I think there's opportunities for educational programming with that, and eventually we'll work to get those out on display, supplement the bell that we have, or the rudder indicator in the West Gallery, which is the same ship that the signal flags came from. And then the items from Camp David are interesting as well. I learned a lot about that. I didn't realize that the U.S. Navy is in charge of Camp David. And so there's a gentleman from St. Louis who was in the Navy, worked with the Seabees and others. He was there when President Carter met with Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat. And so a lot of the items are from the peace accord that was signed back in the 1970s. And some other little personal pieces from that, including his presidential service pin that they received for their service there. And then you're probably going to talk about the Grand Derby stuff, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
One thing that, I wasn't here, of course, but part of the collections process and all the other things that surrounded all of what we were trying to do with the collections care and whatnot was the accessibility aspect to make the collections accessible so people could actually see them, whether it was physically or online or whatnot. Mike just wrote and published a blog, which is a short writing, but these were artifacts that were taken into the Soldiers Memorial Collection sometime in the spring, I believe.
Yes, last summer we got late spring or something, yeah.
But these were artifacts from Grant Dottie, and Grant was in the Pentagon on the day of the 9/11 attacks. So Mike wrote a blog kind of telling that story, and they're really some remarkable personal items. But I showed the acquisitions committee that blog in the meeting on Monday, but I'll send that around as well, and you can read that, and also I'll send around the subscription link to that so you can subscribe to that so you get those on a regular basis as well. But it was just great because they were, we just got them into the Soldiers Memorial Collection. They're really compelling pieces, and then we got them right in the public's eye, at least on the internet and the story being told. So that's all I have. I'm more than happy to field questions. I have one more thing that's kind of not related to any of this, so I'll take questions before I get to that. I don't know if there's
Questions?
What's that POW MIA event? Is that here?
That's here.
Oh, okay.
1 p.m. tomorrow, right in the Taylor Assembly Hall.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow is National POW
Yeah.
MIA Remembrance Day. Yeah.
So one thing that we've learned is that, and I think this is actually really great, is a lot of organizations are approaching us and asking us to partner with things like yesterday. So this was put together by the POW MIA Museum at Jefferson Barracks, but they did not have a suitable space for it. So they approached us and said, you were the first ones that we thought of. This is the best place to do this. You want in? And we're like, yeah, of course. This is perfect. This is what we want to be doing. So there's a number of things like that are coming up. Unfortunately, a lot of times they're on very short notice. They're like 2 to 3 weeks. So it kind of robs us of any opportunity to do a lot of promotion or marketing, or we scramble and we get what we can out on Facebook and other sources, but it's still, as far as printed material, it's way too close to the event for that stuff. So one other thing that happened this summer was we received the official gold LEED certification for the building, which is really exciting. I know you've all heard this probably ad nauseum, but it's a remarkable accomplishment to take a historic building and to get it LEED certified as all, and then to achieve the gold level was quite an accomplishment. So they gave us some mugs. If you would like a coffee mug, I will give you one. Or I won't be the middleman to give you one. And these are, I was telling Bruce, I don't understand how this works, but these are made out of corn. That's what it says on the bottom. Do not put it in your dishwasher. It also says that. I don't know if you get grated corn, if you put it in the dishwasher, or what exactly happens. I like it because it's nice and big, and I like big coffee mugs. So there you go. If you want another one on your way out, there's more there. If you want more than one, you got one, Valerie. Everybody has one. All right, great. And after that, I will pipe down, as my mother would say.
Okay, let's see where we're at then. I call for questions, new business, and announcements. And Colonel Hansis has an announcement, and I have one as well. So go ahead.
Missouri Athletic Club's annual tribute to veterans, our awards luncheon, is going to be on Thursday. Always it's the Thursday before Veterans Day. So it's Thursday, the 7th of November. It'll be in the ballroom downtown. And I would be absolutely pink if you want to come. I would love for you to sit at American Legion Post 4 table with us and cheer the event on. And someone who's done things he's done things here with his cadets when he was teaching, and done other things for you quietly without ever making any big deal out of it, is Chief Master Sergeant Thomas Williams. Was at Gateway for 25 years after he spent 25 years in the Air Force. And he is getting an award for, it's a lifetime dedication award. Because he has always been one that has been so dedicated in the service to developing his people, and when he taught at the high school, the same with his students. And I still hear him talking about going off to somebody's college graduation or even some retirement parties for people that he's had at school, and for baby christenings and everything. He stays with those students who still want that mentoring. He's an incredible guy.
Yes.
And I finally got him to replace me as commander of Post 4. I didn't realize it had been 5 years, but he's now our commander. So we'd be delighted if you would want to come and So when you call to make a reservation, you can do so with a credit card. Just tell me you want to sit with American Legion Post 4. And I have more of the cards. Who would like one? Anyone? Okay, pass one. Okay. Mark, you have one.
Yeah, we have.
Do you have, oh, Mike, I
Yeah.
thought you had one. No, Mike doesn't have one.
Here's one for Mike.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, and who else?
I'll post it at the city
Okay.
councilor's office.
So, ooh, I have 3 left. So thank you very much for the time.
I'm really glad to hear that about Chief Williams. That's-
Oh, my
that's
goodness, this is,
wonderful.
it's been a dream of mine.
Yeah, that's good. I have an announcement too, I guess. The City of St. Louis, the Parks Department will be putting a fence around the American Legion Eternal Flame Monument. However, I don't have any details on it yet. Do you know anything about it, Rich? or-
I don't, but I do want to add to that just a little bit and say with the tenacious work of Linnea, along with the Parks Department, the monument actually now works, it stays lit, it's clean, and this whole idea is really Linnea's brainchild, so thank you for getting this done and honoring our veterans.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the design on the fence. I talked to Vernon for a long time about it because you probably know, he's the expert about all things security related. And he was very specific in saying that the fence had to have these little points on the top and things like that so that people don't just sit on it and things like that. And so we came up with a few different design ideas. This was back in the spring that I forwarded to the Parks Department, but I'm not sure exactly what they went with yet at this point. But there will be a
It
fence
just needs to
around
be
it.
tall enough.
Yeah.
That it's a little
Yeah.
trouble to hop over it.
Well, as Vernon says, if there's a fence, you can tell them to stay out. So that's what he basically says. So that's what we'll do. And I also noticed at the Taste of St. Louis this past weekend that maybe we could make sure that the monument is more included with the site as sort of a place that we don't have disrespectful is a strong word, activities going on around and that sort of thing, and the setup is respective of
The
that
trash
monument.
bins and the porta potties, we can put somewhere else.
Okay, yes, that's it, yeah, exactly, not right in front of it and stuff like that, so we'll work on that too. I think that's all we have. Does anybody else have any announcements or
I
questions?
don't have an announcement, but I just wanted to say thank you all for the wonderful work you guys are doing. It's just amazing. It's fun to see our ideas being realized with with Chow and Chad and the accessions and people, bringing us stuff that's pretty, artifacts. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you're doing.
It's just so wonderful to have after, and I know Linnea would say this too, after so many years of wanting and needing a full complement of staff to do justice to the facility, it just blows me away every day what we're able to do now.
Yeah.
And by the way, congratulations to Linnea.
Yes.
Anybody else have anything? Go.
This isn't an announcement, but I like to say I get to see so many boards functioning, and the new members are so involved and so proactive. And just today I'm watching Colonel Hansison. She functions exactly the way the ordinance and the founding documents of this are you're supposed to function. She makes everyone aware of events, and she takes the events, and that's why the board is made up the way it is, so that you take the events and publicize them in your own areas. And it's just a pleasure to see commission members functioning so at such a high level.
I think we're all pretty committed to support the organization.
Yeah.
Some of us have been at it a little longer, but it's just, I second your comments heartily. You just did it without using exactly those words.
Anything else? Yeah. So, call to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Adjourned. Thank you very much. Our next meeting is is November 21st at 3 p.m. Thursday, November 21st.